Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Garden Fork Radio. It's Eric and Bob. We're here to talk to you about what we hope are interesting things. I'm using the right microphone this time, and here we go. It's 9 a.m. on a Thursday. Welcome, Bob.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a beautiful day down here in the south.
Yeah, I have 12 inches of snow in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh my goodness. Oh God, I would not want to deal with that.
You know, it's pretty good. The biggest problem is there's some people that don't shovel, and then, there's people with strollers or people with need a walker or something, and that's just not cool. But anyway, yeah, New York City is beautiful for about a day, and then people start shoveling and salting, and there's really no place to put the snow, and it's going to be cold for 2 weeks now. So the car is the plow on the city streets, the plow itself, the blade is pointed to the right. Mm-hmm. So you want to park on the left side of the street, and they're all one-way streets. So I am parked on the left side of this street that I live on, and I have a minimal bit of snow, but I've got snow around me. But 4 times during the storm, I dusted off the car because I've never owned a new car before, and I don't want to scrape it when I don't want to scratch the paint when I actually have to get the car out.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It just
Do they salt the roads up there?
Oh yeah, they salt them way too much. The pups and the sidewalks. The pups, they, especially Andy, her pads burn, and it can make it unpleasant. I mean, I just kind of rub her feet, and then she gets a little better. But some people just literally make it snow with that white, pebbly ice melter, and they're not thinking about anybody else. They just dump it on their sidewalk, and I think they're like, I don't know. Anyway, there's people like that in every town and every neighborhood. It's not just New York.
Well, don't they have like little, I know it probably drives some dogs crazy, but don't they have like booties you can put on?
Yes, we haven't trained Andy with the boots yet, and it's funny because I have a video from my previous 2 labs, Henry and Charlie, where to get the kind of these rubber boots onto their feet, I couldn't figure out how to do it, and then I saw a video on YouTube where the guy used a piece of PVC pipe, and the inner diameter of the pipe was larger than their paw, and you stretch the booty or boot like a balloon over the other end of the pipe, and you slide the pipe on, pull the boot off, and it snaps onto their leg, and then slide the PVC back off their paw. So I made a video about that, and every snowstorm that video spikes.
Oh, I bet it does. And
generator videos, my generator videos again spiked because people are, the most popular one this storm was whether you can plug extension cords into a portable generator to run your house. And the answer is yes, but there are some caveats to being smart about that. You can't plug in your backyard air conditioner with an extension cord or something like that,
Well, and from being in the phone company and working a lot of hurricanes, it's also dangerous because a lot of people don't realize they have to separate the grid from their house.
Yes.
Because you backfeed the power into the grid, and then somebody comes along and works on it, and they think it's de-energized, and it's not.
Yeah, people don't realize that. They do these homemade wire cable things. Literally, someone left a mess on the extension cord video. They said, I can just plug the generator with an extension cord into one of my house outlets and run the whole house. And I'm like, yeah, you can also burn your house down.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything about turning off the main breaker. So they're not, it's called backfeeding, where you're generating power in your house and running it back down the utility line. And it's just not smart.
Right.
But here we are.
Yeah, I know. So look, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You sent me a list of stuff, and we were going to talk about a couple things.
Yeah. You remember it wasn't that long ago you had the podcast with Rick about he set his glove on fire, and then he tossed it and set the fence on fire and then melted the garbage can. I tell you what, I just laughed so hard with that, thinking, oh my goodness, I am so happy that that's never happened to anything that I've been involved with, because I just thought it was so funny. Of course, at the time, I'm sure Rick didn't think it was funny at all. So, be that as it may, sometimes karma comes back around, because I've got a story that happened to me a couple weeks ago, and it got to do with my shop vac and cleaning out my gutters. And so I would have this guy come every few months, and because I'm surrounded by trees, and I would have this guy come every few months and clean out my gutters, and it was $200 each time I
Ooh.
did it. Yeah, I know. And so I used to do it myself, and getting up on the ladder and everything, my wife would get all upset, and she's got a lot more common sense than I do, and I'd say, oh, I don't want to spend $200 every few months to have this cleaned out. She says, well, how much do you think it's going to cost when you fall and bust a hip and we got to pay all those medical charges? So I said, well, I guess you're right. So in my never-ending quest to figure out how to not have to call this gentleman, and he was good about what he did, I've got this attachment that goes on my shop vac, and so you plug it into the exhaust port of the shop vac, and it has the hose, and then it goes into the solid tube, and then at the top of the solid tube, you put this attachment on it, and it's like a hook, and it narrows the pipe down to about 1.5 inches.
Oh.
So it goes from 3 inches to like 1.5 inches. So I get it all set up, and this thing now is like about, I don't know, 12 feet long. And I can easily reach the gutters and do this. So I'm holding it, and I take my one hand and I reach down and I turn the shop vac on. Well, this was so powerful that it blew it right out of my hand, hit me upside the head. Then it started pulling the shop vac, which is on wheels, down the driveway. So I'm thinking, well, I'll follow it down the driveway and I will just turn it off. And it reached the end of the extension cord, and where the shop vac cord and the extension cord were together, I put a loop in it so it doesn't accidentally come apart.
Right.
Well, that was a mistake, because it didn't come apart when it reached the end of the length of the extension cord. It couldn't go straight anymore, so it started spinning, turning around. And as it turned around, of course, it was winding the cord up around the shop vac. So now it's coming back up the driveway, chasing me up the driveway. And I'm thinking, oh, God. So finally I thought, well, you dummy, run into the garage and unplug it from the wall. But I swear, I hope none of the neighbors saw this. I must have looked like the biggest idiot in the world. And
I'm sure they saw. I'm sure there was some. You are the talk of the neighborhood.
I bet I am. I don't know. But after that, I sat down and I thought, oh, God, now I know what Rick felt like.
Well, at least the fire department didn't come for you. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Oops.
Yeah, but if I kept screwing around the way I was, it might have been an ambulance coming for me.
So this segues into another interesting experience you had. You sent me a list of things, and one of them is clothing optional telephone repair.
Yeah. So you got me started on thinking about all the stuff that happened in my 34 years with the phone company, and every now and then something new pops up. And this is a story. Now, this did not happen to me, but it happened to one of the guys I work with. And this was back, I guess it would have been the early 80s, late 70s. And he got a trouble report to go out to this campground, and their phone was out of service. So he went out there, and it was a nudist camp. Right? So they had a little office that was a combination where you would check in, and it also had like almost like a little 7-Eleven type thing.
Like a commissary.
Yeah, exactly. And so he goes into the office to tell him he's there to fix the phone, and the lady is standing there naked. So, so he's trying to act nonchalant, and there's no way you can act nonchalant with that. So he says, I've got to get in to work on the phone. She says, so she goes, okay, but you got to take your clothes off. He goes, what? She says, yeah, no one's allowed in here with clothes on. You have to take your clothes off. He says, ma'am, I'm not stripping down naked to come fix your phone. So they're standing there, kibitzing back and forth, and she's refusing to let him in. He says, well, okay, I'll leave, and I'm not going to fix your phone because I'm not stripping down naked to fix your phone. He says, and in the meantime, naked people are coming in and out of there to use the commissary part of the thing, right? And he's like, oh, he was telling me, he said, oh, God, please just get me out of here. So finally, he says, look, I'm leaving. And you get somebody here that can say that I can go in there. She says, well, you can't, and they won't let you. He says, okay, I'm leaving. So finally, she got a hold of the guy that ran the place, and he came, and he says, no, we can't make him take his clothes off. So he went in, and he fixed their phone, but he said the whole time he was surrounded by all these naked people coming in and out. And he said, this is not like naked people, nudist camps in magazines where you see all these beautiful people. He said, these were not the people I wanted to ever see. And he says, I never want to go back there again.
You can't unsee that kind of thing.
You cannot unsee that. It was traumatic for him. But I could just imagine him standing, and this is a good guy. I'm still in contact with him to this day, and he's a good guy. And it was like, I can't imagine standing there trying to argue with somebody about having to take your clothes off to go fix a phone. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I've never been to one of those. Evidently, there's some clothing optional beaches in various areas. I think they're more common in Europe.
Well, I know South Florida's got some.
Yeah, America's a little more of a, that Puritan background of ours.
Yeah.
The Pilgrims.
Well, plus some people just shouldn't be running around naked.
So I'll have to write that one down.
Yeah. Make a sign.
So I brought this up a couple times, but you've started, I called it a podcast, and it's not really a podcast, but some YouTube videos you've been posting.
Right. The reason I started that, this goes into neuroplasticity.
Oh, okay.
And the whole reason I started that, well, one thing is you gave me the idea because on one of your podcasts you talked about just go out and start one and see what happens. I thought, well, Eric comes up with some pretty good ideas, so I thought I would try that. And what I was trying to accomplish was something that I would force myself to do because doing that is not natural for me. And at my age, you get limited in the things you can do for DIY type stuff. Going up in the attic and climbing through the rafters and all that stuff anymore. It's just I can still do it, but it's really not the safest thing. So I tried to come up with ideas of what other things can I do to occupy my mind and expand my knowledge of different things, and just to keep my mind moving in a new direction.
Yeah.
And you talked about the podcast. I thought, well, I'll just give that a try. Of course, I said podcast, but it's really not. It's a vlog. And I thought, well, I don't want to invest, because I know with the stuff you do, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I did not want to try and do that right off the bat. I just wanted something quick to go through and see if I could do it. And in the same time, maybe do a little bit of service to humanity and try and be a little uplifting. Because
Oh, yeah, we need that now.
yeah, I know it. Because I didn't want to go on there and complain about this, complain about that, because you just get inundated with that kind of stuff when you go on the web at all, and even in like Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. It's just that stuff is just so easy to infiltrate your life. So I tried to make it a little positive stuff here and there, and I don't know if it'll ever go anywhere, if it'll ever get popular. I don't know, but that's really not the reason I did it. I did it to exercise my brain in a new pathway. And it's the same thing with the other thing I did, which at times can be a little bit awkward, and that is start using my non-dominant hand to do things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like brushing my teeth and eating and all this kind of stuff. And it's surprising how awkward it was to try and brush my teeth at first, try and brush my teeth with my right hand. It was like, this is going to take me forever to try and do this. So what I do is I do it with my right hand, and then I do it again with my left hand. But over time, it started to get easier. So then I quit doing it and let it go away for a while, and then went back to it. And I've been trying to do that kind of stuff. And also then I wrote a novel to try and see just whether or not I could do it.
Oh, that's great.
And it turned out I was able to do it. Sold a few copies, whatever. I don't know if it's good or not. I mean, it's just to do something I've never done before and never thought I'd be able to do it. But of course, that was a long-term project. So, but anyway, that's what got me started on the vlog or vlog, and sticking the fork in the side of my face because I'm trying to eat with my right hand instead of my left hand. And it's been good. It has really been good, and getting involved in all this stuff, it has given me a new like a new zest for things. Rather than just sit around thinking about things and all. It just gets me to do things, and that comes from the other thing from Garden Fork is just start.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's one of the things you always say. Just start. And so I'd been having this thing about writing a novel float around in my head for like a year. And I think you and Nicole were talking about something, and she talked about the books that she wrote. And I thought, well, maybe I should just give it a try. And then, I thought back to the Garden Fork saying, just start. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
I'll just start. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't, it's nothing lost. So that was the story of my vlog.
So neuroplasticity, to me, it means the ability to rewire or retrain your brain,
Right.
which actually they talk a lot about with mental health. And, with like depression or anxiety, you can, from what I understand, your brain loves habits. And if it has a habit of catastrophizing, the brain thinks that's just fine because it keeps on doing it. So for you to be able to rewire that is a goal of mine. I don't catastrophize, I think. Anyway, Nicole can tell me what I do. She's the expert. But the whole idea of trying new things is it keeps your brain moving, because otherwise you just sit there and you yell back at the TV,
Right. Well, when you do stuff over and over again, it becomes familiar, and the brain looks at familiarity as safety.
Yep.
And if you move outside of that, it considers it to be danger. Well, it might be something that's not good for you that you do over and over and over again. Your brain is comfortable with it because
Yes.
it's familiar, and it might be detrimental to you.
Hey, real quick, we all know that Eric has an Amazon store on Amazon. If you want to start your shopping there by going to our landing page, they call it storefront they call it, amazon.com/shop/gardenfork. Check out the tools I suggest, generators, winter must-have stuff. Also, anything you buy there, we get an affiliate link for, a finder's fee, plus also anything else you purchase that day on Amazon, from starting from our page and going wherever in Amazon, we get a little finder's fee for that too. Helps pay the bills, super appreciate it. Make sure to shop local, go to your local hardware store, okay? But if you're going to Amazon, maybe try and use our link. That'd be great. Thanks. But yeah, so as far as like mental health, that's a lot of it is just telling your brain that, or trying to get your brain to jump out of these wheel ruts, and I'm at a loss for words here, but it's a big thing with depression and anxiety. There you go. So what has been, so when we say vlog, which is short for a video blog,
right?
Which kind of doesn't exist anymore because blogs don't exist anymore for the most part. But it's a vlog on YouTube it's kind of your life. It's not like a DIY.
No, it's just
Garden Fork is basically a vlog masquerading as a DIY show. So
yeah. Well, the thing I really like about, and I tried to emulate this a little bit, but the thing I like about your videos is you never hide mistakes. You go through it, and if you screw something up, it's right there in the video. You don't cut it out. You just talk about, oh, I messed this up, or this doesn't work. Like all the times you tried to make the pizza oven, and
yeah.
it just seems so natural, and it's like, no, it's not perfect. You got to go through, and you're going to fail, and you're going to have to, failing is nothing more than eliminating something that doesn't work. So you really haven't really failed. You just narrowed down what you can do to achieve your goal. So that's the way I look at it anyway.
Oh, that's brilliant. So what has been some takeaways, some feedback you've got, some thoughts about starting this thing?
Well, I've gotten a lot of good feedback from people. Of course, some people don't want to leave comments, so I have my email address I've provided that they can email me if they want. And I've gotten quite a few good comments, and I've gotten some terrible ones, and which luckily I saw real quick where you could keep comments from showing up if they have foul language in them and stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So I turned that on, and some of the comments I got, and I'm thinking, how can you be upset when all I'm talking about is general stuff in life? I'm not telling people they should do this or should do that. I'm just offering information. But some people get offended at nothing. So
might be a bot too.
Well, I guess it could be, but that doesn't bother me. I could care less. And if this YouTube thing I'm doing goes somewhere, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. So it's basically an experiment to help improve myself.
You're going to become the next Dr. Phil.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want to be going out on ice raids and stuff like he does.
Or touting apple cider vinegar that cures everything or something like that.
Exactly.
I don't know that Dr. Phil does that, by the way. It's just a joke. But
I know.
YouTube shows me an awful lot of commercials about curing various ills with lemon juice or apple cider vinegar,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised those are allowed on there, to tell you the truth. But
a lot of people believe in all that.
no,
I tried to do the apple cider vinegar stuff because I like we've talked about before. I make my own vinegar,
yeah,
and so I started taking apple cider vinegar. Not a whole lot, just like a teaspoon every morning. And about 2 weeks into this, I started getting stomach pains and all kinds of stuff, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And it was all this vinegar I was pouring into my system. So as soon as I quit that, it went away. So I don't know what it was supposed to cure, but anyway.
Oh.
I also had on that list about drain flies.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, in the drain in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I think are they considered fruit flies or gnats or something?
Yeah, I looked it up and I could never pronounce the name that they had, the Latin name or scientific name. But basically, it's like a fruit fly. I had it in my guest bathroom. Nowhere else in the house but in my guest bathroom. And no matter what I did, I bought all those enzyme things to break it up, and
Yep.
and what was and I couldn't get rid of them, so I actually went underneath the sink and dismantled all the drain pipes and stuff and cleaned them all out, and that worked for I don't know, a couple of weeks, and then they were back.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what I found out, what I finally discovered, and this is going to sound really strange, but this is what happened, is I go to sleep as soon as my head hits the pillow, and I'm up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And my wife doesn't go to sleep till like midnight, and she doesn't get up until like 9 o'clock in the morning. So when I would get up and go shave, I would go to the guest bathroom so I didn't disturb her. And this shaving cream I was using, it was so good. I mean, it was luxurious, and it wasn't expensive. It was the kind you put in a cup and use a brush and build up a lather and you put it on.
Yeah.
And come to find out, what made it so luxurious is it had beef tallow in it.
Yes.
Well, every time I get rid of the flies, it didn't take long. This stuff was going down the drain with all this beef tallow, and that's what was attracting the flies. So once I've kind of stumbled upon that, I quit using that stuff, cleaned the drains out again, and then it went away and never had a problem again.
Yeah, they're basically eating the stuff along the inside wall of the drain.
Yep. But so if anybody has that problem and they happen to use a shaving cream with tallow in it, stop. Just stop it.
All right, well, before we go and move on to the after show, you wanted to do a little shout out?
Oh, yeah. And I hope she's listening, to Helen. She sent in a comment about me being on the podcast, and it was such a nice comment, and you forwarded it to me, and I appreciate you doing that. And that was also part of the reason that went into me doing the vlog, because I thought, well, that was really nice. And so anyway, Helen, if you're listening, thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, she's great. She's been on the show before. She drives a electric car that is solar. I think it's solar charged at their home, if I remember correctly. And they go camping. They have a camper. They tow behind their electric car.
Yeah, that's been a while since she's been on and talked about that, hasn't it been?
I guess we have to get her back on.
Yeah, that was really interesting episode.
If I could only schedule things.
You got plenty of time to do all that.
It's just starting. It's so hard for me to do that kind of thing.
Well, you know what? When it comes to that, there is this YouTube channel that you can go to.
Oh.
And one of their philosophies is just start. I think it's called Garden Fork TV.
If I took my own advice.
Yeah.
There are things that I'm not afraid of, like the brownstones are all row houses or townhouses. They're all they have common walls, and the neighbors, it's all ice and melting snow and stuff, and the neighbor's gutter is dumping into our yard, and it was like, oh, we got to call someone. And I'm like, I'm going on the roof. Oh, you can do that? I'm like, yeah. It's a flat roof. And then I reached out to the neighbor, and I'm like, hey, we have a problem here. And a lot of people would just sit there and complain and send like an aggressive email,
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, you just got to, a little honey goes a long way there.
Yes, it does.
So on the after show, we're going to talk about mailbox pricing, which
Right.
I'm intrigued by. And if it's coming from Bob, it's got to be interesting. If you want some more of the podcast in Eric's World, I have an email newsletter. Bob, do you get the email newsletter?
I sure do.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes, I like it. And I like the fact that you have those links, so I don't have to go searching for something you're talking about, and you just click on the link you have in there and it goes right to it. I guess I'm late.
I paid him to say that.
No, you didn't. I'm just because I'm lazy.
But anyway, it's always great to hear from you guys. It's gardenfork87@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Garden Fork Radio is produced by Garden Fork Media LLC in Brooklyn, New York. The music in the show is licensed from audioblocks.com and uniquetracks.com.